Today's episode is brought to you by Promescent. Use the code in our description to automatically get 15% off at checkout.
What if there was just one supplement that helped you here, and yes, even here? Say hello to VitaFlux Powder for Men. This natural blend has 3 key amino acids like L-arginine, L-citrulline, and L-carnitine. With just a scoop in the morning and 1 scoop in the evening, VitaFlux helps to increase testosterone levels, improve recovery times from injury and exhaustion, and increase libido, giving you energy in any activity you engage in. Did we mention it comes with delicious flavors like mint mojito? So, what are you waiting for? Get back to your prime. Shop VitaFlux Powder for Men today.
Welcome to ASN Underground with Sam Mack. That's me. Let's talk about your weekend. Imagine it's Friday night and you head off to a luxury location for a decadent dinner with your lover, your friends, your coworkers, or perhaps a perfect stranger who you just swiped right on. Everything is perfect. The hair, the heels, the dress, the diamonds. But not everything will always go perfectly. Most iconic locations here in Los Angeles are steeped in history, which is just a pleasant way of saying they're old. And old places have, well, let's call it character, and plenty of characters within them. Imagine you're stealing glances, sharing laughs, having a drink or two, when suddenly, in one of those old restaurants, the lights begin to flicker, and then a scream is heard. A loud thud as the lights go completely black. But then, the lights come back, and everything seems to go back to normal, except for the new, curious decor. The body slowly and loudly dying on the couch. The room is perfectly lit once again, and moments ago, everyone was acting auspicious, which only now makes them look more suspicious.
All right, put your hands up! Put your hands up!
Hands in the air! Hands in the air, everybody! Police are here, and
Hey, I'm like a guest on
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Dinner Detective.
Hi.
Audience applause. Calm down, everyone.
Calm down!
So these wonderful characters are from The Dinner Detective. I was at your show last weekend. I was razzled. I was dazzled.
Ooh.
It was one of the most incredible nights of my life. And wildly enough, it started off as one of the hardest days I've ever had to go through. I did not buy my own ticket. My friend bought my ticket, which forced me to go. And I went miserable, upset. Decided I would just sit through it and get through it. But these beautiful people made my night one I will never forget. And by the end of the evening, I was begging them for their contact information to have them here on our show. You guys are the joy makers. As I was saying before we came on stage today, like I really should have just stayed at home and called my therapist. It was such an awful, traumatic day. But within moments of your show starting, a flick went off in my brain like a light switch. And everything got better. Your comedic timing was impeccable. The storyline was so engaging. And you were seated at my table. And we were like, is this guy in on it? And because I had gone there with this, like, I'm just gonna get through this intent, you did not let me have a bad time. And you didn't know I was having a bad day.
No, I didn't.
But you were so incredible. It was the best night of my life. Like this night changed my life.
Wow!
It's a better kind of therapy.
I have had great nights. I have had fantastic nights. I have been on red carpets. I've been to award shows. I've met wonderful celebrities. But this night at the Dinner Detective was one for the record books. And I'm not even joking. Like the impact you made on me and my table, We're a hard group to deal with. We're a bunch of filmmakers. We know all the tips, tricks, and
You did
secrets.
harass me a lot.
We're a harsh audience. You were phenomenal. You were dealing with us up close and personal.
Right.
But the impact your character made, I mean, you did interact with me quite a bit. Because she was paid to. But it was so wonderful. I was captivated by you all night long. I whispered in her ear after the show, "You're my favorite." These people are the people you want to brighten up.
I feel like I can't take in the amount of compliments I'm getting right now. You know, like my body is physically rejecting it.
I think you guys need to know just how good you were, though. And like, I didn't know about you. It was a friend of a friend who brought up in our group chat, was like, "Hey, this show's really good, let's go." And I was like, yeah, another whodunit. I bet it was Professor Purple in the library with the candlestick. But your show...
spoiled the killer.
Now the whole show's over.
But your show isn't corny like that. Your show is so interactive. It's such a normal dinner, minus the dead body, the blood, the gunshots, the knives, and the police who wear questionable garments. It's such a lively event, and I don't think that it gets the credit it deserves. So it was really important for me to have you guys here to blast you to the whole internet and hopefully get you all overbooked as much as possible. I do request VIP seating though. At all future shows.
You get VIP?
Of course.
Okay, fine. That's the
got
turn.
No, this is such a great event. So I don't want to give away anything, so I'm gonna let you guys do a whole bunch of the talking here. We have Jeffrey Fox, who was the actor at my table, who we thought we were ruining your life. We thought you were an actual customer, and we were whispering to each other at one point of the night. And when the whispering got to me, going like, "Oh man, we're really hard on this guy. We're ruining his life right now. Like he's gonna go home back. If he's not already an alcoholic, he'll become one because of us."
My favorite was how you guys did like this telephone with me. Like they started from the other end, and they're like whispering about it, and I'm like, I want to know what's going on, and they whispered all the way, and they got to me, and you guys were like, "No, you weren't supposed to tell him that. You told me that you all thought that I was
This whisper's going on. It was incredible. Like. Mark, we've never met before. You are the man behind the magic.
Hello.
The man with the golden voice. Oh my goodness. As soon as I asked Jeff if he could come on the show, he was like, "You gotta talk to Mark. Mark's the boss." So we have the King Koopa right here,
Thanks,
the big man.
Welcome.
And an actual Karen. Calm down. She's not one of those
You
Karens.
guys, it's just my name. It's just my name. I can't help it.
She's the best Karen I know.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I know so many good Karens. We're not alike.
You had such a phenomenal name, though, in the show.
Yeah,
But we won't share that in case.
That's
you're that
okay. I'm a
character again.
detective, so
It's okay?
There's no secrets with me. In fact, my character doesn't know who did it, so it
Yeah.
That's
doesn't
true.
matter. Yeah, I'm Detective Kelly Bluebook.
Kelly Blue Book. I thought that was hilarious. I thought the names, the creativity, there's the subtle nuances all throughout the script that were just so perfectly timed and so perfect through today's day and age and the age group that you're dealing with and the subtle jokes that you were going for. It was phenomenal. But enough about me praising you guys. Let's hear about how this all started.
Well, I'm the newest of the three of us. I've been doing it since July, so I'm 9 months in it. It's one of these shows that, you know, dinner detective shows, murder mystery shows have been around forever. And just years and years, I've been an actor for my whole life and a dancer my whole life. And so I always had heard about this in the background, but it was not something for some reason that ever clicked. And then just more of late, somebody mentioned it to me that they're doing it actually in some other state. And I thought, well, you know what, that's a good idea. So I looked up to see where a murder mystery show was even going on in my area, and this one came up. So I sent my information and hadn't heard for a while because they don't have auditions all the time. Mm-hmm. And then out of the blue, Mark contacts me and he says, will you do a virtual audition? So we did a virtual improv with about 5 or 6 other people, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had like we did a virtual improv, and he liked my work, and so he wrote me back and said, I want you to join the cast. And so I've been doing it since July.
And you're a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, thank you.
You are, we were a table of filmmakers, and we could not tell if you were acting or if you were a dude who was just trying to get out alive. Like I said, we were a hard table to deal with, and you were the odd man out. It was a rough position for any man at our table.
One of the things that I liked so much about doing the show is that I'm schmoozy myself. Mm-hmm. I do my best when it's joking off of other people in an improv kind of way. So that element is always there. So really it has to do a lot with the table you're at. Yeah. You could be with people who are complete duds and they don't want to talk and you just cannot penetrate it, or people that are refusing to have a good time. So this particular table, the more I get harassed, for me, the more fun I find it. I do find it fun because people are going, and because then I work really hard to try to convince you I'm not really that person.
Right.
And I think that's the fun of it.
Well, and the great thing is, like I said, like I was having a rough day. I went to the show. It was such a bad mood, and like I had this wall up. Like I wasn't going to be a good night. I was just counting down the minutes till I could go home.
Right.
But you absolutely penetrated me to the point.
Hello. Good night, everyone.
Set it up, knock it down.
Good night,
There you
everyone.
go.
Don't forget to tip the
You
waiter.
started it. You said penetrate.
I
first.
started the
it.
penetration.
No, my whole night changed because of your work and your work. It was like you two were the most dynamic characters that night that really affected me. My whole mood changed because of you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't. Like, I'm so grateful. Like you just changed the tone for my whole weekend. Like I'm just really, really grateful.
great.
But enough about me needing therapy. Mark, so you are doing virtual auditions. Are you still doing auditions?
Yes.
Because you gotta replace this guy, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna steal him.
That was his last show.
9 months of the show, now famous.
Now everyone's gonna want to be in it.
Yeah, we had to adjust to do virtual auditions because obvious reasons. But now we're getting back to in-life, real person auditions. But yeah, you did a great job doing improv over Zoom. It was, I mean, that's not easy.
Sounds awful.
Yeah,
I would not volunteer to do improv on Zoom.
Yeah, it was hard.
it's not easy.
It's hard. But,
Yeah.
we have big egos, so we'll do it
Yeah.
anywhere.
But you're really good with the hard things, as we found out.
Hello again.
Hey!
Thank you again. Thanks for coming.
First of all, clearly, if you audition for The Dinner Detective, you never know when filmmakers might sit at your table and try to hire you for their movies.
There you go.
It's exactly what happened. And we got your contact information right away. The team that I was with is working on other feature films, and we were just like, this guy has got it. So you just never know where your acting career is going to take you. People come to Hollywood from all over the place, wherever you come from.
From New York.
From New York, all the way from New York, Jeffrey Funk. He's in Hollywood, living the dream. And then he met us schmucks, and we're like, we're gonna do something with you because you're incredible. So you just never know. And so I really encourage people, like if you are a comedian, if you are an up and coming actor, you wanna get yourself out there, the Dinner Detective is a really, really, really good venue for that because you just never know who's gonna sit down next to you. Could be a murderer. It could be me. Both are horrible. I mean, wonderful.
Oh, no.
So anyways, as you're still hiring for the show, it's an ongoing process. You have a rotating roster. How many different shows do you do? How many actors do you have?
Okay, so we have, I run all the shows in Southern California, and then I also started the show in Honolulu.
Whoa!
And but the company itself has 80 locations all over the country. So if you think of a large city in the United States, we have a show there.
Boise.
We have a show in Boise.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm afraid to name more cities because I might not.
Yeah. Stop there, okay?
I had one.
But the cast that we all work in,
Right.
We work in 4 different locations in Southern California. We have a cast of over 50 actors. So we have shows every weekend in Thousand Oaks, in Los Angeles, in Long Beach, and in Anaheim. Wow. And we have public shows every single weekend. We also do a lot of private events. We do shows for corporate parties, for holiday parties. We're doing a bunch of shows next week just for somebody's birthday. They hired us to have a private event for their 30th birthday. And it's a surprise party too. So all of the guests are going to arrive and sit at the tables, and then the girl whose birthday it is, her boyfriend is bringing her to the show, and she's going to open up the doors, and all of her family and friends are going to be waiting for her.
Next week.
Yeah,
Surprise
that's next week.
Murder
Yeah.
party.
Guys, my birthday's in August, and that's what I want. Message Mark immediately.
But then any real emergency that happens on your birthday, you'll be like, it's a show.
Yeah. I don't know enough people to fill a room. But anyways, go on.
So yeah, and the company was started in 2006. I joined the Dinner Detective in 2007, and I was just, same. I found out about it the same. Like some friend said, "Hey, there's this murder mystery show. It's different than all the other ones. There's no like extravagant costumes and weird accents. Like it's all modern. It all takes place in modern day. It's really fun, and we just got started. Do you want to join?" I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great." So I joined back in 2007, and I've been doing this show ever since then. I kind of worked my way up to now running the company. But, but we have so much fun, and I really, truly feel like our cast is like a big family. I mean, there's days where I'm having a horrible week, a horrible day, and I come to the show with my fellow actors, and I immediately feel better, and I immediately feel like I'm in a great mood because we have just a family of actors, and we all get together to put on this show and to entertain all of the people who come to be with us that night. And it's like we're being transformed into another, alternate universe where we get to just have all of this, this room of 80 to 100 people there with us to have fun and figure out who the murderer is.
It's hard to stay in a bad mood in that atmosphere. And I was gonna say the exact same thing. Like, I've gone into shows being like, all right, I guess I'm gonna do a show now. But like, you get interacting with like spicy audience members who are having a good time.
Yeah.
You're interviewing people, you're improvising, your brain just locks into a play state. You get to be not yourself for a couple of hours, and you just get to have like some fun. I love that it's like solving a murder, that's like part of it if you want to be like technical and smart about it, but there's also just like this big goofy kind of like fantasy, let's razz each other part of the show that it's really infectious.
Well, we've always heard that laughter is the best medicine, but it's really true, and it's the one thing that binds us all, whether you're 20 years old or 100 years old. Being in that environment where everybody is there to have a good time, even if you don't want to be there for a good time, you can't help it. It's contagious. You're having fun whether you want to or not. And you guys are such great leaders of that. You're such great physicians of healing the soul.
Yes, thank you. I do consider myself a physician.
I would put it on your
I
resume.
am a doctor, so
Yes.
that's perfect.
Kelly Blue Book,
MD.
So we want to get into we talked about how great you are and how I highly encourage this. I do think you should bring your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your neighbor, your mom. Like, you will not have a bad time at this show. It's not possible. I can have a bad time anywhere. I could not do it there. I tried. But let's talk about the nitty-gritty of it all. Like, what are some of the worst behaved customers you have had?
What people should know is that it's an interactive show.
Yes.
So it's like kind of part escape room in that you're dealing with clues. It's part LARPing, like you're a character and you're interacting with people as a character. And then it's part comedy show. There's like an improv show element with it where the detectives are leading everybody through clues, but there's just like a lot of kind of fun and games that go along with it. So in that element where there's people interacting and also often alcoholic beverages, things can get like a little out of hand. You had I think the topper story was yours.
Yeah, I was doing a show where I was being the killer that night. And so we switch off roles all the time, but that particular night I was being the killer, and one guy had a sense that I was probably the killer. So he kept coming over to me and saying, "You're the killer, right? You're the killer, right?" And he kept razzing me about it, razzing me. And then at one point he came over and he was holding one of the butter knives. Now again, as Karen is saying, like, people just get caught up in it. They don't think that there's anything strange about being part of the whole thing. But he came up and he put the knife to my neck and he said, "Tell me if you did it." And what do you do as an actor, and then not wanting to break the fourth wall and letting them know that you're an actor and trying to pretend like you're not who they think you are? It's hard to know what to do in that sense. So I push the knife and I go, "No, that's not really cool to do, so leave that alone." Then he goes, "But you are the killer." And he kept doing it. He never touched me, but he was right at my neck. And I knew he was playing, so I wasn't scared of him, but I kept thinking, This is so inappropriate.
It's not going well.
And
One human holding a knife up to another human's neck,
Yeah.
but everybody
Yeah.
thinks they're having a good time.
And that's the funny thing is, like, I'm not sure who's watching, but I'm sure people are seeing it. Like, oh, that's funny over there. What's going on? Give me another drink. You know?
Oh, no.
So I mean, nothing bad came of it, but that was a little daunting.
It could have been a real murder.
Yeah.
Even the night that you were there, we do like a fake out where we announce the killer, but we say it's the wrong person.
Right.
And this
I forgot all
one
about this.
table you forgot. They got so jazzed up. They were so proud of themselves for picking the killer, and it's the wrong person. It's clear this person is not in any of the clues. It's just a guess, and we're like, it's that guy. They like 4 people ran over to swarm him. I put myself
Oh, they
physically
handcuffed
in
him.
between
That's
them.
right.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, you like. Punchline is it's not him. So sit down, guys. And they're like,
He was such a good sport. Like, he was like,
course.
I'm getting arrested. Like, thank goodness that was his response.
Because everybody's also by that point in such a playful atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think most people aren't like trying to be curmudgeons and being like, somebody thought it was me, I'm offended, you know?
Yeah.
But it was a little over where you're like rushing a person. In the middle of the show. It wasn't even in one of the breaks where you interrogate. It was like, I am doing a presentation.
You were mid-sentence.
And they're sprinting across the room.
Yeah.
And something happened with a chair.
Oh my gosh,
told me that.
there was one woman that got the wrong killer, and you write down an answer form at the end, and she was so sure that she was right that she picked up a chair and threw it, like not at anyone, but on the ground.
Just anger.
Our host that night was Amy, who is like a stage combat pro.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
she is like the wrong person to mess with, and just came over with alpha energy and was like, sit down. And the woman could sense like, oh, I am not in a place to be trifled with right here.
I think the bottom line is that our guests get really involved and really into the show. This one time I was hosting a show, and it was the middle of the show, and people were eating dinner and looking through the clues. And I went into the bathroom, and in the bathroom, I noticed one of our guests was on his knees on the floor.
No!
And he was like going through the garbage can.
No,
And like
honey.
picking out like dirty tissues, and I was like, "Oh, is everything all right? Did you lose something? Can I help you?" And he goes, "No, I'm looking for clues."
Baby, that's not it.
And I was like, "Okay,
That's
let me just
hysterical.
tell you right now, there are no clues
Spoiler
in a
alert.
dirty garbage can.
Yeah.
Okay, like they're clearly labeled. You don't need to go through the garbage."
And they really are clearly labels.
Yeah.
Very
Like
clearly.
in a dumb way.
Like,
no smarts with that.
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to give it away, but if you can't figure out what is and isn't a clue, you're not old enough for this show.
Oh, because we were on.
If you can't read 4-letter words, you can't come.
Yeah.
This was on the Queen Mary. I don't want to, because we do shows on the Queen Mary.
Wild.
Somebody,
Haunted.
that's a historical boat with historical architecture, and someone is like peeking up behind a sconce and like trying to unscrew, and we're like, like A, you could break a historical thing. B, you could release some ghosts. Please don't go in
Yeah.
there.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
No, we'll give you the clues, guys.
The clue, yeah. I don't, there's so much I want to say without giving it away.
Right.
'Cause they got to just come and figure it out.
Yeah, before the interview, I explained why I didn't get it. I thought that I had it figured out, but there's a piece that I missed just because I blew off somebody as being like another blonde girl in Hollywood. I'm like, yeah, that's your story. And I just walked on and like went to interview more interesting people. Meanwhile, the person giving me the clue was right in my face. And I was like, sure. Yeah, you're another Hollywood girl. I was so mad at myself because in the end I was like, if I had just listened to her say 5 words, I would have figured it out. And I was so close. And I know that in order to win a dinner detective, a murder mystery, you have to have the most correct answer. So
Yeah.
you want to give as many details
Right.
as you can.
Yeah.
So with each evidence that they're giving you, each clue, which is clearly posted on the board and given to you on QR codes that you can scan on your phone and review without getting up, like it's real obvious. You have to give them a reason why that clue was important to why that person's the murderer.
Right.
And there was a couple clues I was like, oh, they just threw that in for fun. No, they did not throw it in for fun. So being the most right. So really paying attention is the key to winning. And what do you win? Well, you win a bag. And inside that bag are some things
Is us.
that you want.
We are in the bag.
Yeah. You want to take home the bag. You go to the dinner detective to take home the bag.
Yeah.
It is
Take home the bag.
Yeah.
it is
We have to add like a date with one of us or something really valuable.
I mean, that's
Oh,
basically
that-
what I
yeah.
asked for.
I mean,
are all
you
gonna
got
come to
all
my
three of
place.
us on your couch now, so
You
it
got,
must have
yeah.
worked,
You did your job.
And there's no rap time for you guys.
Oh,
Right.
Surprise.
how about an unwrap time?
Oh, naughty.
So what are, speaking of unwrap time, I spit as I said that, I got excited. Ooh, she's moist. What are some of your favorite jokes or comedic moments from the shows you've done?
Oh boy.
This is only my favorite because I recently discovered it. The show is constantly evolving. There are certain beats in the show, and there's this joke that I've been doing a long time where I found a clue by getting the car keys out of the person's purse, and then I hit it like this. Invariably, an audience member goes boop boop for me. And then I follow it to find that audience member, and then I used to just move on with the joke. So then I found the car and whatever. But recently I've started going boop, 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 and I find the audience member, and then and then it was just that woman standing in the bottom of the garage going boop, boop at me.
Which is so funny.
It's so weird. I don't, it's one of these shows where you can kind of just throw things in and see if it works. And for some reason, it tickles my funny bone, and it seems to get a laugh to call that person out for being a weirdo and going boop, boop in the middle of a dinner show.
But everyone wants to be
asking her do
included.
it.
Everyone's trying to be interactive, and so
Yeah.
the boop boop becomes
Yeah.
a thing.
Yes.
And then you're like, why are you being a weirdo? And you're like, oh, I was being a weirdo. She got me. I fell for it. Like, it's so good. That was a great moment.
Well, my favorite part of like where the comedy leads us is that the show, it is for the most part, there is a script, of course, we got to follow that, and there's clues you have to hit the mark with those clues, and you got to bring them out at the right time. But there's an improvisation element to the whole thing. So it's based on how the audience is behaving. It's based on a lot of the names. Everyone has to have a fake alias name when they come in. So sometimes there's irreverent names people will use, or funny puns, or funny celebrity names. So playing off of those things, I always find fun. Like when I'm walking around interrogating people, that's always fun to play off of the names. Depending on what character you're playing, as a detective or one of the other people that get revealed later, they can play off of something they have to do off of what another guest has said or what their name is. Those kind of things always crack me up. But I like the whole improv element of it, where you don't know night to night what you're going to do exactly.
With the name tags, if two people have the same name tag, I like to stand them both up and make them do a competition to see who's the best
Yeah.
at the name.
Who's the best Wonder Woman?
Yes, exactly. So if it's Wonder Woman, I'll have them do what is this?
Lasso?
Lasso, thank you. Truth Lasso or something, or if they're Breaking Bad man whose name is
Walter.
Thank you,
White.
thank you. See, I'm so good at pop
See how
culture.
improv works? We finish each other's sentences. That's
Yeah.
improv.
I need to know where people can find you. What are we doing tonight? And will you come home with me? No, sorry.
Yes
go
to the last
Yes,
one.
yes, and yes.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Actually, Jeff and I are doing a dinner detective show this evening.
Tonight?
Yes, in Thousand Oaks.
We are.
So we will be performing and figuring out who the killer is tonight.
And being really funny.
Yeah,
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
Naturally.
I'm gonna go and work on. I'm opening up a new improv studio called the Shared Experience Studio, where you can
Plug,
take
plug.
improv classes from me and my funniest friends. So I'm gonna be working on the website of that tonight.
Congratulations. That's something I
you.
need to work on. Social media, Instagram, where are people going to stalk you?
At Karen Bond on Instagram. See all my show posters.
I am at Mark Lessman. You can follow me there. And Jeff.
And also, I, in addition to acting and my whole dance background that I've had my whole life, I'm also an acting teacher. And so I have a scene study class that I teach. And so on Instagram, it's at Jeffrey Fox Acting.
Beautiful. Now, you did
That's
say...
it. Yeah, I think that's it.
You did say that you had a dance background. Can you please, for the last 30 seconds, dance us out of this show?
Yes!
Oh, no.
Give us an Ellen!
Okay, turn and step and turn and kick and drop.
Yes!
Through the window, through the window.
From the window to the wall. This has been the Dinner Detective. We are out of here. À bientôt, bonsoir. See you later.
Thank you.
I'm not saying I'm a bad lover, but sometimes I was the only one crossing the finish line.
Sometimes?
But the first time I tried promescent delay spray, wow.
Wow.
Just a few sprays and I could focus more on the intimacy and not be worried about finishing too soon. Now I'm not just running a sprint. We're both signed up for a marathon together.
And he lets me cross the finish line first.
Anything for you, milady?
No accents.
Right, I mean, right.
You're watching ASN Underground.